Welcome to the soap that is my life.
So in the last video we talked about the science behind the multiverse, and in this video I'm gonna try to give you a few theories how the multiverse can, or different realities can possibly be an explanation for the Mandela Effect. So bear with me a little. First of all, we talked about the Schrödinger experiment, and I told you I would go in a little further detail about it. What I actually meant was, in Schrödinger's cat experiment, you have two parallel universes splitting off. In one the cat is dead, and in the other the cat is still alive. If you don't know what I mean, I'll put a link at the end of this video to my first part of the multiverse, where I explain the Schrödinger's cat incident. But the implications for that is that every time you make a decision, you have options, and you make that decision. All those options, they will occur, and you will only choose one option in this universe, and then the universes start splitting up, where another part of you chooses another option. This has the implication that let's just say you wake up one morning and you're not feeling too well, and you're saying, I'm not going to work today, I'm going to the doctor. Or you're not feeling too well, but you say, yeah, I'm going to work anyway. Now, in one universe you'll go to the doctor, in the other universe you go to work. But just imagine that when you are going to work, you have this accident and you die. Then you have a world where you are not alive anymore, and one universe where you're still alive. Just to show you a little bit about the implications. But how does that tie in with the Mandela Effect? Well, in the first thing there is, I've heard this tale on Dr. Lupo's channel. It was actually Terran Lupo himself who said this, and I think I talked about it before. Every time you make this decision, you have your consciousness, and one consciousness is dominant, possibly the one you are in now. So every time you make a decision and the world split off, a part of your consciousness splits off too, and it's like recessive consciousness. You're not aware of it, but it's out there in some universe or some parallel dimension. Now, when one of these recessive consciousnesses dies in that world, it will return to your dominant consciousness. And sometimes, maybe sometimes, you will pick up, when it is young, you will pick up these memories from it. Meaning that you have a memory from that other consciousness, from that other world, and you have it in your head. And that's why the Mandela Effect occurs. That's one option. The second option is, when we started to talk about the multiverse in the last video, we talked about pocket universes popping up beside each other. But there are people who think that the parallel universes and the universe in itself, they occupy the same space at the same time. Meaning that this is the universe, but just beside this is another universe, and just beside that is another, and another, and another, and another. And they're like layered, not layered up on each other, but just occupying the same space. So it wouldn't be like too far a stretch that maybe somewhere things opened up, and my light is going, that sometimes things opened up, or that you are somehow perceiving these things from these universes that are laying here. Some people even believe that ghosts or shadow people are come to this world that way, that they are so thick, they're so closely layered that some things are picked up by our consciousness. Another explanation for the Mandela Effect. What's more, and we talked about that when we where I made the video about Are We Dead? And I just talked about this, but if there is a mass like death, maybe that universe that died off entirely, or the Earth that died off entirely, they kind of move over. The consciousness shifts to another reality, like to this reality. And some people might be more prone to picking up that fact. So the people who are Mandela affected, they actually pick up remnants from that died off universe. And they're kind of not fully in touch with this one. This might have something to do, yet another theory, with vibrations. I told you in a previous video about the Schumann frequency. It's a video a while back. I think I'm gonna have to do one again in more detail, look up more stuff, but that won't be for like the near future. But there is this frequency Earth has, and the frequency at this moment is going up. It's actually 3 times more than it used to be, or over 3 times more than it used to be. That's what I hear. As I said, I have to research it better. And we're like vibrating with that. And one in the universe, not in the multiverse, one in the universe is that we're like vibrating up with the Schumann frequency, that we are Mandela affected, or kind of adjusting to that frequency more rapidly, and that we see that there are changes and stuff, that maybe we see that there are alternate realities and stuff. But there's another possibility, namely, what if every universe, every parallel universe has a specific Schumann frequency, or a specific frequency, and we're like attracted to the one that we have, that we are maybe closest to, or that we have. This could tie in with the Are We Dead? We die and our consciousness sort of shifts to the one that vibrates more like us. That's one theory. The other theory is that if this frequency is like so high and we're not like going up with it, is it pushing us into another reality? It's all possibilities within the multiverse. Then there's one other theory I got from Mr. Anderson's channel. We talked about it briefly last video again. And he says, you know, alternate timelines, they can be like, kind of like waves. It ties a little bit in with the string theory, kind of like a string. And sometimes it touches. And where it touches, you might like shift over or trade places. And maybe when you shift over, you generally lose the memories from the other reality, except for a few ones. It is a possible explanation for people knowing that we are in a different place in the universe, because many people of Mandela affected, like me, we remember that when we learned at school that we were more at the edge, and now we are like in the middle somewhere, not in the exact middle, but more to the center of the spiral galaxy. Yet we remember the sky more or less like this. It's more or less the same like we remember. That might be that when the timelines touched, some of our memories came over, but not all of them, just fragments of it came over. These are just a few of the explanations within the multiverse which could explain the Mandela Effect. Then there is one thing we have to talk about. I'm gonna just talk about it, just touch it a little, because I'm planning on doing a video in more detail about these things. Another one I have to research. And that is CERN, HARP and D-Wave computers. Have they tapped in somehow to alternate realities, and did that somehow make some people remember stuff or pick up stuff from other realities? Did they kill us, and did we make the shift to some other reality? But as I said, I'm gonna do that with more research. There's one other thing I might wanna touch upon, but I'm gonna do in more detail separately in another video. That is the simulation theory. Many people believe that we are in a simulation and that the Mandela Effect is just, glitches in the matrix. How does that tie in with the multiverse? Well, it's very simple. Let's just say that in a lab, in a D-Wave computer, they are running historical simulations, and they want to know what would have happened if, like, Hitler won or Hitler lost. Maybe in their reality Hitler won, in the thing, and they want to know what would have happened if Trump was elected, what would have happened if Hillary was elected. So in the same computer, they're like running all these different kinds of simulations as a historical study. And then maybe when they run these simulations, because they're in the same computer, maybe there is some bleed over, or maybe there are some glitches in that where people have different memories or stuff. But as I said, I'm gonna leave that for another vid to talk about in more detail about simulation theory. Again, one I'm gonna have to do more research on. These are the things I touched upon today. I know they're probably not complete. As always, if you know more about this, if you think you can add something about this, if you have links for me to do more study on this, in the comment box below. I hope you liked this video, and from my reality to yours, I hope I will see you next time. Bye.